Hello, everyone, and welcome to Patton's Downtown Grill for this week's edition of the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner. I'm your host, Mike Sneed, and with me is your co-host, Lee Wallace, and we are the radio guys for G104 FM. We do the Friday night football games. Also, we have a countdown to kickoff show that comes on at 6 p.m., followed by the game of the week, and then on Saturday mornings, we have Carolina Football Today show where we recap the game from the night before. Awesome week last week as the Raiders went into senior night, and what a great celebration it was for senior night. I like the way that Coach Castellano allowed the players to invite one of their mentors to walk out on the field with the parents as well, and that was really touching. They honored a former player that had lost his life a couple years ago in a very moving, I thought, a very moving ceremony there. And also the Raiders came out with a lot of intensity and won that ball game over Lumberton 54-7. So, Coach, congratulations on a great win.
Well, I appreciate that. It was an exciting night. You know, senior night's is the start of the end of the season and progressing hopefully into the playoffs. But it's also, you know, it's reflective for me. These guys soon won't be our players anymore. They'll be former players.
Right.
And the bond that you have with them and you know, you create throughout the year, hopefully for a lot of years. But to create it, you know, just in a short period of time and come as far as we have, you know, it's kind of amazing to me that it was senior night, and we enjoy honoring them. Obviously, a fallen player we honored as well, and just getting the opportunity to see his mom and her emotion, you know, was pretty neat as well. But you know, we were excited to get the win. We didn't do everything well, but it kind of snowballed early in our advantage, and we'll take that every time.
Well, you came out with a lot of intensity. I thought that the kids came out on fire. Stephen Jones, again, I thought set the tempo early in the game on the second play from scrimmage, intercepted a pass and ran it 37 yards, I think, for a touchdown. And like you said, the snowball was rolling downhill then. But you're talking about honoring the fallen player. You were telling us about that Saturday on the show, and I was looking at Lee, and Lee was looking at me. We didn't know who was going to finish that interview because both of us had tears in our eyes, but that was a very emotional part of the game Friday night. Coach, you looked at the highlights, you looked at the game film. Let's go into our game film here that you have and just kind of break down the games that the plays that you have brought with us tonight.
All right. First off, Coach Bordeaux does a great job every week of getting these for us, and that interception that Jones had is the first highlight. And if you notice here, the receivers are tighter than normal with their splits. Coach Gould did a great job of teaching the DBs during the week that if they were tight, more than likely they were going to run an out route towards the sidelines. And you see in this situation, it's a 2nd down and 8. They do it, and Stephen Jones does a good job of doing what his coach should do. Attacks the hip, and that's where the ball ends up getting thrown. And obviously, you know, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but I don't think he get caught with a 20-yard head start. So he can run. I was giving him a hard time in practice today about that. But that's a great job of being coached, doing your coaching. And obviously here you can see he intercepts it between, obviously, the quarterback and the receiver. And we like to have the ball on the outside arm right there, head down the sideline. Get the ball in the other arm, complete it perfectly. But you can see the excitement of the players right there, and that's what we want, get started on a quick go. Here, we actually onside kicked the first time, and they called us offside. It's kind of hard to see the offsides on film, but hey, we don't question officiating, right, Coach Schuler? We move on. So we line up, and obviously I did not do that during the game as well. They lined up the same way, and we looked at each other and said, oh my gosh, we got to call it again. We saw the look on film, and you know, this is a great kick by Alvarado right here. It's a phenomenal kick, and I believe Shaheem actually recovers it, but you know, we signal for it again, and you can't get kicks like this very often. I'll show you here in 1 second. And obviously the kick comes, and this is the hop you want right there.
That's it.
And it's, you know, we like to have the kick a little more over here, but it's a great kick for us. We get the ball back, and now all of a sudden, next thing you know, we get the ball back with a chance to increase the lead and keep attacking early. You can see, obviously here it's hard to see on the tight copy, but that wide copy is all you need to see with that bounce. That was a great bounce for us. Here the next play is going to be Quintel on the touchdown run. If you watch this guy block, the number 3 receiver right here, and you watch our left tackle who is zoning up, they do a fabulous job right here on this play. And those two guys get a block. That creates a crease, obviously, right there. You can see we're trying to get the crease. And obviously we score on it. You can see it from the other angle as well. it's a great job by those guys of blocking and help their teammates score. You can kind of see it better from this angle here with Shaw right there. Great zone block by the left side of our offensive line, Austin Patrick as well, 51. And obviously we score, and it looks pretty easy when that happens that way. But there's a lot of guys doing things to make it look easy. Here in this play right here, we had this play called back a couple times. I love Coach Bordeaux to death. I looked at him and said, "What's the play call, Coach?" After I got called back for touchdown. He looked at me and said, "The same play." And we ran the same play, and we have a screen to Lavelle, who once he gets in space, he's pretty dangerous. We have a screen pass right here, and obviously you can see him take it to the house. Guys downfield blocking for him. Great job by the backside receiver, and Lavelle doesn't need much to be able to break free. Really good football player, and you can see it obviously from the other angle. But that's Coach Bordeaux doing a great job, and you guys were questioning about the screen passes earlier. There's more than one way we run it, more than one formation we run it out of. That's a great job by our offense of continually trying to find ways to be successful doing it. You see our offensive lineman out in space, at least getting it away there, but backside receiver John David doing a great job of holding his block long enough to get somebody, getting away with somebody to give Lavelle an opportunity to score.
Well, Coach, on that particular play right there, you had to go out and talk to the officials a little bit after they threw a flag. What were they trying to say, that the lineman was downfield, and what is the rule on that?
If the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, the offensive line can be downfield blocking.
Right.
We scored on it the first time, and they didn't call a penalty on it. We ran the exact same play behind the line of scrimmage, and they throw a penalty on the offensive line being downfield. So I simply went out. We discussed dinner plans later on. I was really mellow. I was calm. I did not insist that I wasn't going to leave the field until the play was corrected. Mr. Colthar came to me afterwards and said, all my years ago in a football game, that's the first time I've ever seen a coach refuse to leave the field, and the play actually got overruled and changed. And I said, well, at least I'm good at something. I was persistent. I wasn't leaving the field. When I said, we're going to flag you, I said, go ahead, and that probably wasn't the right answer. But I knew we weren't wrong, and I knew if I didn't get it, Coach Bordeaux probably was going to get the flag, because it was a great play call and a great play by our guys. I didn't want to see him be punished for doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Now, this is a play last week. We scored on a quick kick. On safe punt return with our normal defense.
Right.
So last week, I admitted wholeheartedly we did not coach it. So this week, the geniuses that we are, we spent 2 minutes on Wednesday coaching it. So what we did was we took our linebacker, and you commented later on about Devin at the end of the play. We told our front side linebacker to the field, we want you to widen, wait, and you're going to block the quarterback, who essentially is the punter on this play. We told everybody who they were blocking. We told this guy to go ahead and block the center. So we actually had everybody accounted for, other than right here missing a block. We do a pretty good job of it. But again, we're in a safe punt return. I mean, we're not trying to set up a punt return. And we actually get everybody blocked like we wanted to, except for one guy. Then Khalil actually comes back and helps out. And on the headset, we said, oh my gosh, he's going to score. Now, when you watch the end of it, there's Devin. He's blocking the punter. The way we coached for it to be done. We talked about it. So we walked through it on the field on Wednesday. We talked about it on Thursday. We talked about it pregame. During our Raider time on Friday, and then here you can see that we actually execute the way we want to. It's kind of drawn up, other than one block, the way we actually planned for it, and it's kind of easy for Skinner to get in there. And that's a great thing for us. When we can score that way and put pressure on people, it's just another way that we can attack somebody and make it kind of dictate the game the way we want it to be. You can see it obviously from this view here. And he makes one guy miss, and the next thing you know, we've got guys setting up, and there's Devin waiting. He's number 34, waiting, and now he's going to block that guy. And that's the way we kind of drew it up. He went a little more aggressive the first time, and the official said, hey, you can't hit him. And I said, just stand there and wait till he comes and then block him. So we did that. This was after a turnover near the goal line. You know, we take pride in our defense trying to outscore other teams. It was 7-7 at this point. Big Stroman's out there. We get some pressure inside, good push by him, and we end up getting that safety to put us in a 9-7 advantage of our defense outscoring their offense. So we were excited about that. I think Coach Sweeney was excited as could be for Big Stro to get a safety there. You can see it here. He gets pressure, ends up getting the guy stalemated. His teammates get there, and we get it. The last play here that we're going to see is going to be John Davis, number 3 receiver, running a wheel route. Obviously, you got to have great protection. Leon's got to make a good throw. You can see that OL does a good job, buys us some time. Then he throws the wheel route. John Davis makes a great adjustment to it, and then fights hard to make sure he gets in the end zone. And we're excited for John Davis. He's a great player, great kid, works hard. You see him a lot of times making blocks downfield, spring some of those other teammates. So it's good to see him get some recognition. Here you can see the protection. It's great protection up front, buys us time. Leon gets the throw off, and it's a great job by John David finding a way to get in the end zone.
Well, Coach, I'll tell you what, that was a tremendous win for the Raiders. You got something else you want to say?
I do want to say
Okay.
one thing. Coach Schuler is the guest tonight, and I never knew there were so many Schulers in Richmond County. I look over, and there's about 30 people sitting at that table over there, so it's good to see the whole Schuler clan here tonight. And I don't know if they're here for the younger Schuler or Coach Schuler, but we'll find out, I guess, in a little bit.
And they said you were buying dinner tonight, so.
Yeah, bring me the tab after everybody leaves. I'll be the guy waiting outside.
Wow.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations on the win, and we look forward to having you back a little bit later on in the show.
Thank you.
That's Coach Mike Castellano. We'll be back for more Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner from Patton's Downtown Grill. Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. Our next guest is a football coach who's no stranger to Richmond County. Played football here, and now he's gone off to college and come back and coaching again. Make welcome Coach Andy Schuler.
Thanks for having me.
Coach Schuler, we know that you're a bit of an expert. Tell us a little bit about the meaning behind the Raider Diamond.
Well, I would say I'm not an expert at it, but I guess the first thing that would come to my attention was the diamond is the hardest stone, and it is formed under intense heat and pressure. So if you kind of think of the metaphors that it applies to football, I personally think it's one of the best logos in college football and high school football. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, Andy, people do love the diamond, but Friday night they noticed something else. They noticed the lines weren't very straight. Do you have anything to do with that, Andy?
Yeah, I'll take some responsibility for that. But also, Coach Brad Denson, I will throw him under the bus a little bit. And I'll even throw some players under the bus. Lavelle, Curtis Ledbetter, Octavius. But, yeah, I'll be a man. I'll take most of the blame for that. But we got to get better.
One more thing to improve on, Andy.
That's right. That's right. Improve every day.
Talking about the diamond, will we see that again on the field?
We're trying. We're trying. I would love to do it.
Yeah.
Main thing, it kills the grass. But since the grass is already dead, we're going to try to get it out there in the playoffs, hopefully. We've talked about it.
Okay, so now you and Coach Denson coach the same position,
Yes, sir.
wide receivers. Do you have any problems correcting his coaching errors? I mean, is he okay with that?
It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I understand. I understand. You know, I mean, you played wide receiver. All he was a quarterback. So,
No, Coach Jensen does a great job.
yeah, he does.
Now, Andy, after you played at Richmond, you went on to Appalachian State. Tell us what you played there and what was it like being on a college football team?
I played receiver there as well. The main thing, it was cold.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess the best thing about it was just the opportunity to play college football. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I just wish I could let all the guys see what it's like to play in a Division I football program and the fun you have and the way the tradition connects. But what was awesome about App State was it reminded me a lot of the hometown. The county, the town really loved Appalachian State football, and mainly it was just a blast. It's a blast.
Well, Andy, you're only about, 22 years old?
Yes, sir.
Not much older than your players. Is it hard to gain their respect, or do you command respect from these kids?
To be quite honest, before the season even started, I was a little nervous about that, believe it or not. But I guess the main thing I do is my guys know I care about them. I love them to death, and so I joke around with them like crazy, and they joke with me, and we play on and off the field. But so if I have to jerk it on into them, they know that I care about them. They know I'm not just doing it to be mean, and most of the time they do it for me.
Awesome.
Now, Andy, in your first year now as a coach at Richmond, what's been your proudest moment so far?
Proudest moment. Well, I've only been at it for 2 months, so I guess a lot of guys were kind of new to actually playing receiver in a spread offense, and it's a blast to see the guys actually come and learn how to play receiver and learn how to run routes and catch balls and score touchdowns. So to this date, I guess it's that point, but hopefully we'll get another proudest moment and win a game in December this year.
That'd be awesome. Well, we're thinking we're about halfway through the season now, so that sounds good to me.
That's right.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck the rest of the year. And man, thank you so much for the work you're putting in with Coach Denson and these kids. It's really showing up on the field.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Coach Andy Schuler.
We'll be right back with the Coach's Corner from Patton's Downtown Grill.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coach's Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. Our next guest is the Offensive Player of the Week, lineman and senior lineman Jeremiah Stewart. Let's make him welcome. I'll have to say Jeremiah is probably one of my favorite players on the team because his dad and them, they cook every time before the home games, and they always invite Lee and I over. So we get to hear a lot about Jeremiah, but I've known his family for quite some time, and Jeremiah, it's a pleasure to see you grow into the young man that you've become and to see you out there excelling on the football field. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We often hear in sports the phrase, it's not the size of the dog, but it's the fight in him. How do you feel like that applies to you and your team this year?
Well, when I'm playing, you can see that I'm probably the smallest offensive lineman out there. You can tell that. And I would just say effort is probably the biggest thing. Just putting forth the effort. If you have the effort, then size really isn't a factor in that. So.
Well, I remember back in 2008, we had a center that weighed 195 pounds or something like that, and a guard right beside him that weighed a little bit less than that. So,
yes, sir.
Like you say, hey, you can get the job done. You guys really work. It seems to me like being undersized like that, and we have played some big defensive lines this year.
Yeah, we have.
You guys really work on your technique, and I think that's how you beat a lot of people is by your technique and the work you put in to prepare. So that's great to see you guys working like that.
Yes, sir.
Now, Jeremiah, what's your favorite play to block for in this new offense?
I really love to pull. We have several plays that I get to pull, and that's really the funnest thing because most of those defensive linemen don't even see you coming, and it's a thrill just to put somebody on their butt sometimes doing that. So.
So how long have you been playing football?
Ever since I was about 7 years old. Started off playing flag football in the Hamlet Rec, and played that for a year, and played 4 years in the upper league in Hamlet Rec, and then throughout middle school and high school.
And you've been playing football with a lot of these guys that's on your team this year. I know playing in the rec league in Hamlet, Lavelle and Tyler Calhoun,
yes,
and some of you guys. You guys have been together for what, some 6 or 7 years now?
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, a lot of chemistry there.
Yes, sir.
Well, this Friday, we're playing a pretty good team in Pinecrest. So what's the offense doing to prepare for the Ledbetter and Maples and all that crew?
We're just trying to get better each and every day. We're just trying to make sure that we're crisp running our plays, and that's it, just getting better. Nothing's really new. It's just getting better at what we know.
One thing Coach Castellano says, we can't worry about them. We have to worry about us and
Yes,
doing
sir.
the things that we do right, and that's really showing a reflection. Jeremiah, we know that you're one of the top students in your senior class,
Yes, sir.
and it's got to be very difficult to balance your your athletics along with your academics? What are some of the things that you do to help you prepare each and every week?
Just, you got to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And when I get home, I can't really waste time. I don't really have a lot of free time. I got to get straight to doing my homework. And time management is really the greatest lesson I learned from that. Just each and every day, just have to discipline myself and just, don't have a whole lot of time for free time.
Awesome.
Well, speaking of time, your time at Richmond Senior High will be over come May or June. What are your plans after you graduate from Richmond?
Well, the plan right now is to go to Pembroke, UNC Pembroke, for at least 1 or 2 years, and then I'll probably end up transferring to a major four-year university, probably NC State University. And as far as my major right now, I have no idea what I want to do, but I'm pretty sure that's going to come to me eventually. So,
Well, Jeremiah, congratulations so far on a great season, and
Thank you.
Look forward to watching you play for about 7 or 8 more games and
Yes, sir.
bringing that state championship home. So,
Yes,
make
sir.
welcome again, Jeremiah Stewart.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with the Coach's Corner from Patton's Downtown Grill.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. Let me remind you once again that if you would like to tweet a question to us tonight, simply go to or just hashtag RCS Raiders, and we'll make sure that we get those questions in line for Coach Castellano at the end of the show. Our next player is the Defensive Player of the Week, number 22, Khalil Stansel. Make him welcome. We get to tell these kids each and every week when they come up how much we enjoy watching them play, but also getting to know these kids. These are fantastic young men, and these guys work so hard. So, Khalil, we know that Coach C told us that you're quite a talker.
Yes, sir.
You talk all the time. What's it like to be the boisterous mouthpiece for the defense?
Well, I just like getting the defense into the game, and communication is the key. So I just put them in the game and play hard.
Get in the zone.
Yes, sir.
Now, Khalil, we've just got to know, are you really as soft as Coach C says you are?
I don't think I'm that soft. No.
Well, how would he get that impression?
I don't know where that came from.
He's not watching the same film we
No,
watch,
sir.
I can tell you. So, okay, to you, which is better, catching an interception or causing a fumble?
Well, I like catching interceptions because if you force the fumble, you're not guaranteed to get the ball back. So in that case, catching an interception, you already have the ball, and I like scoring touchdowns.
I understand.
Khalil, what's the worst injury you ever suffered?
Breaking my wrist. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Breaking my wrist.
That's terrible. Okay, we know that you aren't the only Stansel to play football at Richmond Senior High School. What's it like to have your brother in the program as well?
It's a good feeling because I looked up to him while he was playing football, so that made me want to play too also.
I understand that completely.
And we'll ask you the same thing. This is your time at Richmond, like all players. After you get 12 years in, you're out of high school. Next year, what do you plan to do after you graduate?
I plan on going to ECU and majoring in physical therapy.
That's
Great.
great. You gonna try to play a little football down there?
Yes, sir.
That would be
Try it out.
fantastic. That would be great. Well, thank you so much, Khalil, for
Thank you.
joining us here tonight, and good luck the rest of the way, and look forward to seeing you on down the road, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's thank Khalil for being here, and we'll be right back from Patton's Downtown Grill with the Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. Our next guest is a special friend of mine. He's the principal at Rohannon Middle School. He's a former Richmond Senior High School athletic director and head coach. So make welcome my friend, Mr. Hal Schuler.
Thank you.
Hal, tell us a little bit now, how long have you been here in Richmond County and been working for the school system?
A long time. You can see this bald head. I came in 1988 and have left during that time to go to Tennessee and Raleigh and came back. So y'all do the math. It's been a pretty good while. But it's amazing. I recognize some of the same Vance Lands and Rain Waters and Ricky Jacobs and Ronnie Wallace's, all those were just as involved, and great fans here. So it's good to see everybody.
Well, now, Hal, what is your best memory, or a couple of memories, from your time as athletic director and head coach for Richmond County?
Now, that's a big question. You know, as AD and as the head coach, I think the best memory that I would have had is just all the relationships with all the teachers and faculty and all the players and all the parents, great relationships. You know, it's good to see players come back and, you know, see and talk to you. Darryl Skinner is a player that his son's playing out there right now, played for us. And I think Coach Denson was a sophomore my last year as head coach, so he goes way back too. He's getting old. And it just all the relationships with players that you have, you know, and you think when I first came, we had a chance to won 3 state championships in a row, and that was some great teams, and all you fans out there remember that, and you know you can't take that away. I remember one game as a head coach, we beat Scotland in double overtime, and we weren't supposed to win that game. You know, a lot of games we beat Scotland, we weren't supposed to win.
Remember it well.
And so a lot of games like that, but I think all the relationships with all players and fans trumps it all.
Well, Hal, we know that you've been the principal for 3 years, but you still stay pretty close to high school football. And one of my greatest memories of you, I think, after you had gotten through coaching, we were up at 71st High School in 2008, and that year we had struggled quite a bit during the year, had lost some games, had a lot of folks injured, finally getting them back and healthy. You came off the top of the press box up there with the rest of the coaches, and you made a statement to me. You said, this team's fixing to make a run. I said, he must be a genius at the end of the year. How did he know that? But I think staying close to the kids and staying close to the program each and every year gives you a little bit of insight on that.
Yeah, and you know, that particular, you're talking about 08, right?
08,
yeah,
yes.
That particular year, we had some good players. We just couldn't get it going early, but I felt like we had some good players. And you know, this team, Andy and I have talked about this. This team kind of reminds me of that 08 team a little bit.
Very similar.
You know, it started out a little slow at times, but it's got some talent, and it's starting to do some things, you know, you enjoy seeing. So you just don't ever know.
Absolutely.
And I was lucky when I said that, Mike.
Yeah, but you were excited. I remember you coming down the steps there. Hal, you're not on the sideline anymore, but you still love football. Both of your boys played, and you keep a hand in it. Well, what's it like as a teacher and as a principal to see students you've mentored and you've seen come through school then on Friday night be able to play for the Raiders?
Oh, it's great. You know, it's that's why we're all in this as educators. I think everybody who teaches or has any part in the school system, it's all about seeing those kids grow up, seeing those kids do good things, seeing those kids make good decisions, and feeling like you had a part in those young people making good decisions, and you know, and then going on to be good mamas and good daddies and good citizens. That's really what it's all about.
Well, you see your son on the sidelines coaching, and I know that's got to make you proud. But it was any point in time you said, "Are you crazy?" Or did you encourage him and help him along with this decision?
His Aunt Paula might have told him that, but you know, I was tickled to death. You know, I've got both my sons are now coaching, and real proud of them, and you know, feel like that. they're in a tough profession, but I think it's one that they'll thoroughly enjoy.
Very gratifying. Yeah. Well, we want to know, who did Andy get his athletic ability from? You, Bess, or Paula?
Probably Bess and Paula's daddy.
Great answer.
Good answer. Well, thank you again, Hal, for joining us here tonight, and good luck at the middle school, and just thank you for all you do for Richmond County. Richmond County was blessed when you decided to come here, and you married one of our own here, and she talked you into staying. So God bless
y'all.
you.
Thank y'all so much.
All right.
Let's thank Hal for being on, and we'll be right back with the Coach's Corner from Patton's Downtown Grill.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. Our next guest, a special guest, is the Rohannon Middle School cheerleading coach, Kristen Parakis. Make her welcome. Kristen, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit more about yourself and how long have you been in the system, and a little about your family and all that has brought you here to Richmond County.
Well, I've been in the Richmond County school system since I was about 5 years old, so for a really long time. I actually went to Rohannon, and I also went to Richmond Senior High. So I'm a Richmond County native, and I moved back last year. So I've been at RMS for 2 years.
Well, seeing as how y'all cheer for both football and basketball, it's pretty safe to say it's one of the longest seasons for any of the athletes. How do you keep the spirit up, and how do you keep the energy up to do both football and basketball?
Well, it's really a hard balance because you can get burnt out really easily. So right now we know all of our football cheers, and we practice them, and they know them, so we don't practice as much as we did in the beginning. So it gives us a little bit of a break, and then right before basketball season starts, we'll start practicing a lot more and learning all the basketball cheers, and then basketball season, there's 2 games a week, so we'll definitely slow down with practices then.
Well, tell us what all's involved in becoming a Rohannon Middle School cheerleader.
Well, typically when you try out for a sport, most of the time they just look at your ability, but this year when I took on the role of cheerleading coach, I wanted to make sure that I also had good girls that I wouldn't have to say on to about behavior and grades. So all of their teachers had to fill out a form, and I took the average from that score and their tryout score, and that was the score that determined whether or not they made the team. So as far as motivation and academics, that part's already there for me. So in order to make our cheerleading squad, you have to have a good score from your teachers also.
Okay, because the next question was, how do you motivate the team to keep up their hard work? I guess the better question might be, how do you balance it? You get young ladies who are already motivated, already good students. So how do you help them to keep that balance between the academics and the cheerleading?
If they need to stay after school with a teacher for tutoring, then they are allowed to miss practice for those things if they need to, and they can just learn things from the other cheerleaders, or I'll recap them the next practice. I also check up with their teachers on grades and see how they're doing. So if I need to tell them that they need to go to tutoring, then I can do that also. And another factor with motivating them, this year I really wanted to make sure that they felt like they looked the part, that they felt like they looked good, and help with the cohesion, and that really made them want to cheer really hard and made them want to try harder.
Well, we know that all of our middle schools have very active athletic programs. Why do you think that it's important to have those in the middle school programs?
I think because they are too consumed with their phones and technology that they don't get outside and they don't run like I did. Like now when we run during practices, or even the cross-country team or football, kids can't run as far as they used to. They don't have the same stamina because they don't go outside and run with their friends. So the only workout or anything that they get is going to be at school. Otherwise, they'll be sitting at home doing nothing all the time.
So you got to motivate them to run, along with being cheerleaders and good students. Huh?
Yeah, you really have to motivate them to run.
What is your favorite memory so far? You're young as a cheerleading coach. What is your favorite memory or moment so far as a cheerleading coach?
We went to a cheerleading clinic at Chapel Hill, because I wanted them to see like a university campus and get that experience. And that morning we went to a cheer clinic, and then we went and had lunch on Franklin Street, and they got to do the victory walk with the cheerleaders and slap hands with all the football players and go to the football game, and they really enjoyed that and seeing all those things. I was hoping that it would make all of them want to go to college, and most of them were saying how they really wanted to go off to a university. So that was my goal out of that.
That's awesome.
That'd be a great day as an 8th grader, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Really. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us, giving us a few minutes tonight, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Let's thank Kristen for being with us tonight. And we'll be right back to the Coach's Corner from Patton's Downtown Grill.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. If you haven't guessed by now, tonight it's middle school night, and we're focusing on right now Rohannon Middle School, and we have one of the cheerleaders, an 8th grader there from that program, Robin Edwards. Let's make her welcome. Robin, we talked to your coach here just a second ago. Tell us a little bit more about Rohannon's cheerleading squad. What do y'all do to prepare, and maybe walk us through a typical practice?
Well, usually we practice about 2 to 3 times a week, and during a practice we would stretch, stunt, and we'd go through the cheers, and if something needed touching up, we would split into smaller groups and work on it.
And how long have you been cheering? You don't just start out in the 7th or 8th grade cheering, so how long have you been cheering?
This is actually my first year.
Oh, it is your first year.
Well, you made the team, so there must be something pretty special about you. I know that Ms. Paracas sets her standards pretty high, not only as a cheerleader, but you had to do the work in the classroom as well. Seeing what you've already learned this year, do you plan on next year when you go to the 9th grade academy trying out for the cheer squad there?
I do want to try and cheer at RSHS.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, so you've only been a cheerleader for 1 year. So what's your favorite memory so far as a Rohannon Middle School cheerleader?
I think our first game against Carver Middle School, because it was really a learning experience.
That was doing it live, huh? And that was different.
What other things are you involved in at Rohannon Middle?
I'm in Beta Club, and I plan on being in Battle of the Books.
Battle of the Books. Well, that's awesome. Well, Robin, we know that it's a lot of hard work doing what you guys do, and folks, I think sometimes just take you guys for granted, but thank you so much for the work that your squad puts in. And I think Lee's got one more question.
How much running do you do as a cheerleader?
Usually we run a lap around the football field or 5 laps around the gym, depending on where we practice.
So you are learning to run some.
Well, Robin, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck through the rest of this year. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you. All right, thank you.
Let's give it up. And we'll be right back in Pat's Downtown Grill with the Richmond County Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill. As we continue on with the middle school theme tonight, we're going to invite up the Hamlet Middle School cross country coach, Wendy Brown. Let's make her welcome, folks. Wendy, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been here in the system? Just anything that you think we need to know.
Well, right now I work at Hamlet Middle School. As you know, I've been here for like 16 years. I've done multiple things there. I work in the office. I'm a mother of four.
Mother of four.
Mother of four. Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the first year that Richmond County's had a middle school cross-country team. Kind of walk us through. You've been at Hamlet Middle School for a while. Walk us through the journey of getting a cross-country team at the middle school.
The journey was very short because it kind of just poof and became a team. With the help of Mr. Butler, Mr. Ransom, and our AD, Mr. Peel, we got it together real quick. We checked physicals and made sure grades were at the aspects and pushed on.
Well, it sounds like you've got some awesome kids, and we're going to meet a few of those in just a minute. But tell us a little bit, how do you prepare for your meets each and every week?
Well, when we first began, we have an exercise program that we'll do from the beginning. Then we'll run hills. And Coach Nick, who coaches also, took it out of his time and ran us out of a field around our school.
Awesome.
And we run that course to practice.
And how have y'all been doing so far this year in the meets?
Very well, very well. We've got some kids who came out and didn't know the difference between cross country and track. So that kind of weeded out a lot of the kids. But as we went on and weeded out who did and didn't want to participate, we really got a big turnout. We've got maybe 25 kids.
Wow, in the first year.
That's awesome. Now, why do you think it's important for the middle schoolers to get involved in extracurricular activities?
That's a good thing with any activity, from art to sports.
Right.
So, any kid that has something in them, it can be brought out, and they can work to their best ability by doing something extracurricular.
It also gives them a chance to interact with other people.
And it helps out with discipline also.
Form bonds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, Wendy, thank you so much. Congratulations on a great season so far, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Let's thank Wendy for being here. And we'll be right back from Patton's Downtown Grill with the Coach's Corner Show. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner tonight. We're from Patton's Downtown Grill here in Rockingham. And we have two of our middle school cross-country athletes with us, Emily Bowie to my right and Joey Nicholson to my left. Okay, let's welcome them. So, Emily and Joey, we've heard from Mr. Butler that y'all are pretty awesome when it comes to cross-country. Is it true that both of you are undefeated when it comes to middle school meets?
Yes, sir.
Both of you.
Yes, sir.
How many meets have you run?
2.
2. How many kids were running with you?
A lot.
A lot. Like more than 10, huh? And y'all both finished first in all the meets.
Yes.
Great job. Now, what's it like to participate in Hamlet Middle School's first ever cross-country team, because this wasn't here until this year. What's it like to be the first class in a cross-country team?
I think it's really cool knowing that you're like the first to come through it, and it's a really good experience because like you're pretty much just standard for most people.
Well, I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting and a good experience just to try it out.
And you're having fun so far?
Yes.
And y'all have to run, unlike the cheerleaders over at Rohannon. Y'all have to run, don't you? Yeah. So, Emily, how long have you been running for fun or for competition?
I play travel soccer, and I've been playing soccer since I was 4, so I'm like really active when it comes to running, and I play year-round, so I'm constantly moving.
Okay. Joey, how long have you been running either for fun or for competition?
Well, I play for 2 soccer travel teams, and I've been playing rec for like all my life, so I've been running for it a lot.
So you're multi-sport athletes. This is for both of you. Do you have any pre-meet rituals you go through to get ready?
I usually eat a banana before, and that just stops me from cramping, so.
Okay. Joey?
I usually just get my mind on the race and just stretch before we start.
Okay, so you stretch and you eat bananas. Okay, all right. Besides cross country, what else are each of you involved in at Hamlet Middle School?
I cheer, and I play soccer, and I'm in band club.
Wow. Okay, Joey?
I do the flag, and I do chess, and I also do soccer.
So you do the flag in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would you tell other young people who are interested in cross country? What would you tell them to get ready for, and what would you tell them the positive things, the most fun things about cross country are?
It's really good just knowing, like, because cross country is such a big team, you meet so many people, and it's like your team becomes your family, and it's just a really good thing to have because in soccer you only have a few people, and in cheerleading there's so much drama. It's just like really good to be close in with everybody and pace yourself and be able to like compete with your own teammates.
Okay, Joey?
I would tell them to get ready for a lot of running and don't stop because if you stop, you're either gonna lose or something bad's just gonna happen.
Yeah. Folks, this is our future. Let's give a hand to the great future Richmond County has here. We'll be right back with the Coach's Corner after this break.
Welcome back to the Richmond Raiders Coaches Corner here from Patton's Downtown Grill, and we're going to invite back Coach Castellano. And we asked if you wanted to send some tweets in before we get to the Pinecrest game. Let's go to those tweets. And Coach Dabo has this tradition of doing the whip and the nay-nay after each big win. After we beat Pinecrest Friday, are you going to carry on the tradition in the locker room?
First off, I have no idea what those 2 things are you just talked about. Is that a food or a snack, or what is it?
I bet you Leon and
Leon, what is that?
Lavelle can come up here and show you the whip and the nay. It's a dance.
Yeah, I'm Italian. I don't dance. I can't dance and I can't play basketball. It kind of comes with my heredity. I blame my dad for that one.
But Italians do Halloween. So the next question that the serious fans have is, what are you going to dress up for as Halloween?
I'm hoping a football coach on Friday night and do a good job pretending I'm one of those. That's my costume this week.
Good answer.
Honestly, though, we do have a tradition that we've had for a bunch of years. One's kind of embarrassing, and I'm not above putting myself down, so I'll admit that one. But one that we started, I guess, the first year, Coach Bordeaux, Coach Williams, is that we always have a Slim Jim after a victory. We get one of the big Slim Jims. That year one we started that together? It was year one we started that together, and we got this young man named Alex who was actually down a couple weeks ago at one of our games and became a manager. And somehow, some way, I don't know how it happened, a couple years ago, we had a running back coach who had beat leukemia at the school, retired his jersey, and he came back and he made a comment about a song. I don't know how it came up. And he said, oh, yeah, that's that commercial for Burger King or something. I said, wait a minute. Total Eclipse of the Heart is American classic.
Right.
I said, it is not for Burger King or whatever else. So we actually played that the first game of the year joking around, and Alex, who was our manager, who's a great young man, knew it word for word and sang it. So after that, we won that game. We played Garner week one, which, that blue is kind of like the blue that we have that we don't like here in those eyes. So we won. Next thing you know, we turned around and continued that tradition. So every week we have a different song, or every year we have a different song that we listen to if we win or lose and those type of things.
Well, Coach, we're getting excited about this week. We take on a very good football program, Pinecrest Patriots. We travel on the road up there. What can we expect?
Well, hopefully a good football game. We want to have our guys prepared. We want to play well. They're good. They're good. But again, doesn't matter how good or bad somebody is. It's how well we execute, how hard we play, how much, we take our coaching and do well executing.
Well, how do you approach this week? I know you talked all year. We don't talk about other teams. We know this is a big game. It has a lot of bearing on the playoffs and the conference as well. Do you talk about Pinecrest, or are you still talking about Richmond this week?
Well, I mean, we talked about at the end of practice today. This, by far, is the biggest game of the year.
Right.
Because it's the next game.
It's the next one.
It doesn't matter who you play. The next game is always the biggest game of the year. Has nothing to do with who they are or anything like that. You can talk about pass and how great Coach Schuler and those guys did against them and all that. This is every year is a brand new team.
Right.
And it's this year's team's chance to go play the next conference opponent we have on the schedule, and just happens to be them up the road.
Well, Coach, we know that Willie Bennett went off the field the other night, was injured. Can you give us an update on how his progress is doing?
Well, we don't want to talk about, young man's health and those type of things, but as our trainers and our coaches, myself, all communicated with him on, Friday night and Saturday throughout the day. He was released on Saturday early evening. Spoke to him obviously then as well, and Sunday, and he's in good spirits, and we hope to have him back here in the next week or two. Obviously you don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Right.
But unfortunately he got hurt at the end of that game, and our trainers did a great job and made sure that he was taken care of, and we're happy to have him back soon.
I hope so too. He's a great ball player. Well, Coach, thank you so much, and looking forward to Friday night against Pinecrest, and thank you so much for coming out tonight, and let's go get them.
Yep, and a great job by our middle school people here. That was
right.
phenomenal. That was phenomenal.
And thanks to everybody for coming tonight, enjoying the food here at Patton's Downtown Grill. We'll be back next week at 6:30 for the Richmond County Coaches Corner.